Okay, Capsule Monster Coliseum might be as broken as we expected. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more Oz content. So Michael Loveless sent this over and said, hey, Capsule Monster Coliseum's a pretty good card. And I was like, okay, sends me the replay, I open it up, and the first thing I see is Synchro Pile. So how are we going to achieve using the Coliseum to make this deck actually work? Well, we're going to go ahead and set up here. We're going to go ahead and Junkmeister reveal. Go ahead and spout some of this. We're going to go ahead and Imperm us. Not a bad place to get Impermed, though, I will say. Also, we're not going to go down Junk Speeder, this combo line, which is pretty cool. We'll go ahead and Junk Converter kick off to go ahead and grab up the Star Junk Synchron, because this card's amazing. We'll go ahead and make our token. We'll go ahead and Star Junk, and we'll go ahead and get Ghost Belled. A little bit inconveniencing, but it's fine. We can play the game. We'll go ahead and normal summon Star Junk. We'll go ahead and make Triscuda. Now, Triscaluda here is going to actually be one of the most important parts to this little combo line here. And we'll explain here in a little bit. So we'll go ahead, O-Lion, go ahead and do our thing. We'll level mod. We'll go ahead and stop by Ancient Fairy Dragon here after we get our Revolution back. And now we can go ahead and make the Night-Winged Cleric. You've watched a lot of these videos. Honestly, Assault Mode Activate within these Synchro decks is relatively good. And keep in mind, we've burned through 2 interruptions so far, and we're still going. So now we're going to go ahead and get our Assault Mode Activate into rotation here, which is going to help out. We'll go ahead and pitch. We'll go ahead and special summon the good old Psy-Frame Reflector. Reflector will go ahead and grab up probably the other best card in our deck, our Field Spell, which is going to help us do the fun little degenerate things that you expect this combo to do. We'll go ahead and slam down Field Spell. We'll go ahead and recruit for our Assault Sonic Warrior. We'll go ahead and Assault Sonic extend down, go ahead and trigger our effect, which will go ahead and, don't you love +1 into +1 into +1? It's actually so good. So now we have the Scrap Synchron loaded up here. We'll go ahead and Synchro, because, you know, we can just use that as material from the hand to make Scrap Warrior now. Scrap Warrior and our effects will go ahead and stack up. We will go ahead and get a recruitment out of the deck, which will go ahead and get Synchro Fellowship loaded on up here. Now we can slam this down. We'll go recruit for our next 2, which is going to be the Star Dust getting pitched. All right, we'll go ahead and Synchro into... This is probably one of Loveless's other favorite cards in this deck, because, I mean, if special summon, you can send a Machine Tuner, but that we don't care about that. It's on, it's the value that this card actually gets. So we'll go ahead and trigger our ability to go ahead and get our special summon. We'll go ahead and make Red Dragon Archfiend. Now you're probably like, really? Red Dragon here? This is actually kind of important. So go ahead and Stardust Tribute to revive back. Alright, we'll go ahead and get the good old Stardust Illumination pulled out of the deck. We'll go ahead and Synchro into Crimson Dragon. Dragon will go ahead and pull up the Rumble. So the reason why we're dumping this is because getting the extension Synchro Summon is so much more value. So we'll go ahead and banish the 3. This is where we get to cheat out the Burning Soul. And the fact it doesn't give a crap about what your tuners are that you're using to feed this thing, it's amazing. And on Special Summon, we're going to get to go ahead and recruit back from the graveyard. Hey, guess what? We get a free Harmonia back for further interruptions off of our giant monster here, which is great. Tzolk'in's going to go ahead and bounce off to go ahead and, of course, bring out the Cosmic Blazer. Because, you know, having the Blazer as one of the most important end board pieces is usually critically, you know, important here. Illumination's going to go ahead and mill down. All right, we'll go ahead and wheel. We'll go ahead and it's going to level mod here, which we will go ahead and Synchro Rumble here. We'll go ahead and revive Ancient Fairy. See, you thought we weren't going to do Ancient Fairy Dragon shenanigans, but we're not done here. Ancient Fairy Dragon's going to go ahead and destroy our field spell to go ahead and recruit for another field spell, which is where you finally get to see Capsule Monster Chess coming into play here. Alright, so we will go ahead and Capsule Monster Chess, slam it on the table. Ancient Fairy Dragon will give us the ability to summon another monster from the hand. So this is where you're going to see the Junk Synchron finally coming down. We're going to go ahead and Synchro into the Crimson Dragon here using our Dragon Mech. So yes, we're going to keep this back in rotation. We want to be able to do a bounce during the opponent's turn to kind of keep the lights going here. So during the end phase, turn player is going to get to go ahead and send. All right, so we're sending Triscuda. So what do we get? That is 1 level 1, 2, or 3 higher. Oh, that's a light fairy monster. Guess who's coming? Congratulations. Archlord Kristya has landed. You're going to look at this board and you're going to be like, well, we have a Crimson Dragon, we have a Blazar, we have AFD, and we have the Burning Soul. Like, this is a huge boss monster field that is meant to really, cover up a lot of the situations you've got covered here. And I mean, like, what's your opponent going to do? They have Lucaeus, Sword Soul Punishment, Tae, and Rahu in their hand. They're getting floodgated with this board, and, they have Capsule Monster. Oh, no, they can Capsule Monster, crystallize something. Sure, Lucaeus, go ahead and trigger, get your search. I mean, you can get the 5 mana, but you have to out the Kristya. Oh, no, we're going to take some life points over that. Guess what? Synchro Rumble is just going to go ahead and banish to protect our monster. We've actually managed to, do this, and then we just get to go ahead and slam Battle Phase here. There really is not a situation that I can think of here that the opponent could have done. They had 2 hand trips. They actively had 2 responses. We did not access Junk Speeder, which has usually been the clutch a lot of people look at and go, hey, you need this card. No, the realistic part of the situation here was we didn't even need, those extra gas cards to be able to do things. And looking at the deck, I do see that we are playing Synchro Emergency. The deck is 40 cards. You can extend out, and you can do all sorts of really cool things that you need to make this deck a little bit better. And that's why, I look at the Synchro Emergency here, and I want to remind people that, this card is extremely good within this deck. Getting access to those borderline insanely early tier 0 plays is going to be very, very critically important to a lot of your game plan. You're going to need to focus on this card because, like I said, getting those plays during the opponent's turn is very important. And of course, Harmonia is going to give you another hand trap to work with. We do see, in terms of what you're building into the deck, you're only playing 1 Capsule Monster, 1 Archlord Kristya. I assume that there will probably be a game where you probably will draw the Kristya and you'll be a little bit disappointed in, the gimmick. It happens, all right? You can't be too upset about that. In terms of other things, I mean, Junk Mice is going to be one of your best cards you can have. I also see that this build is choosing to actually play the Stardust Assault mode. It makes sense, right? Because you've got natural synergy to, already having the Assault mode activate running around. I mean, this would have been another end board piece that we could have set up on the field that we could have, further interrupted the opponent with. So I think when you have the room, and obviously, as you saw in the example here, it's going to depend on what hand trap interruptions that the opponent's really going to try to throw at you. And the fact that even on a minimalistic approach here, you're doing pretty well. I also see we're choosing to play the Steam Synchron, which I do think is not a terrible card as well. Obviously for 3 Junk Meisters, you're going to go with the 1 Junk Armor, which is fine. The Side Reflector package, you're playing this minimalistically too. The one big thing that I have seen with Psy Reflector is you're not playing the emergency teleports to make this live. You're really just trying to play this just to support you. Also, O-Lion with that Vermilion Dragon mech card is also very, very, very important. Also, Burning Soul Dragon being the free extender is great. We have access. Quasi just gets to refill your field as well, which is another important little piece that you shouldn't underestimate with this deck, and so forth. I also do see we are playing the 1 Victim Sanctuary, which is fine, but also Triskaluda is one of the more important pieces. Obviously, we do have access to Junk Speeder. He is present within the deck. He's just, there feels like there are better options to kind of incorporate into this. So if you are looking for a list to test out, you're looking for, you want to test some Capsule Monster, but you want to play some Synchro Pile. This is going to be the future, people. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be messing around with these big Synchro Pile toolboxes, and they're going to find ways to keep using every new piece that they can build into these decks just to have fun. And obviously, I think Capsule Monsters is going to be one of the little funner things that you can do. It's just, why not, right? This card is, it seems it's really fun. So what do you guys think about another adventure with Loveless's shenanigans? Please, comment down below, tell me what you guys think. Now, I wonder what other broken floodgates besides the barrier statues that we can bring out with this. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.